Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again. I am Mark Anthony Dark 66, and we are here in the next modeling movie. Wow, this modeling movie title is pretty big, pretty long. Wow, only Dark South Limited would think of a name for a movie like that, right? Yeah. So that's a pretty cool one. I'll let the name of the movie speak for itself on that. Pretty cool name. Alright, so this one, I wanted to start this one a little different from the themes that we've had so far, and this one is going to start with something that is common and popular, and it's kind of it's almost like a controversial piece of clothing that has been in circulation for, oh man, this goes back to like Roman times. It's been in circulation for a very, very long time. And we're going to start this one talking about a man bag. A man bag, meaning that a man who is a man wears a bag. Uh, some people call it a merce, a man's purse, or it could have derogatory meanings also. But I'm gonna give you my spin on a man bag, and yes, I wear man bags. I don't wear them every single day, but any derogatory meanings, I just push them aside. I don't pay attention to it. I don't let it ruin my day. The main reason why I started wearing a man bag is because usually when I usually like to wear my jeans more tight fitting. So I mean, I don't really wear baggy clothes. I'm not saying I would never model baggy clothes, but I'm usually more comfortable in tighter fitting clothing. So for something like my cell phone, which is kind of on the bigger side, and I'm actually gonna get a bigger cell phone soon. I'm just not really comfortable like putting all of my belongings in my pockets, especially if I'm dressed more casual or more comfortable. So I just put it in a bag, and I bring my bag with me wherever I may be going. And I've always been more comfortable doing it that way. I also like putting my stuff in a bag and maybe like leaving it in the car, leaving it in my friend's car, and just taking a money clip inside, or like a credit card inside, something like that. It really starts with comfortability, and then I would say it's fashion. I'm gonna give you an example of a man bag. This one's kind of funny. I I haven't worn this one particularly yet, but I'm gonna give you my fashion tips and tricks on something like this, like my opinion on how I would wear this. This is my new man bag that I just got. Okay, now I would like to start by saying that my real man bag is actually leather. I actually have two leather ones. Actually, one's made out of crocodile skin, and the other one is made out of leather. And but I decided to start with this one because this is something good to start with. Okay, because this is obviously masculine. Okay, it obviously has like a masculine message to it. It looks like it's waterproof, which is also good. You want something that you can like bring into the elements, and it has like a couple different compartments on it, a couple different zippers. You can You can adjust the length of the straps and such. And it's good to start with something like that because it's more of like, this is more of like a little bit of like a beach bag kind of, and not so much like a real man bag, because sometimes when guys get man bags, like they'll overdo it the first time around, and you know they become like almost like attached to the man bag, and it becomes like a part of their identity or something. And you don't want to make it seem like you're codependent on a bag or something like that. And you want to kind of like, it's like anything new. Like you get a new baseball glove, you want to break it in, quote unquote. You want to break this in with your friends and family members, and just, you know, you don't want people asking you all these questions about your, you know, like sexual identity or this, that, and the other thing. You know, my family knows who I am. My friends know who I am. So I've never been, you know, I've never been nervous about it. I have two dads. I have a uh, father, biological father, and then, you know, like a stepdad. They both have occasionally wore man bags, and I always looked up to them for it because they always had something nice leather, nice, expensive, more upper line man bags that are somewhat expensive that are also fashionable. So, you know, start off with something like that, something that's very masculine, that shows like, hey, look, you know, I still am who I am, and kind of start with that before you go and get the leather one, and you go and get you know, the really expensive one, and you know you're spending, you know, thousands of dollars on man bags. You know, you want to kind of like, you don't want it to take away from your identity, like so suddenly. And again, look, anything I say is not written in stone. You can really give it a shot. If that's what I was doing, you know, having a man bag for the first time around, that's how I would go about it. Just trying to help you guys. So there's your tips and tricks on that. All right, so let's get into the modeling now. There's a couple of good words that you want to focus on when you go into these modeling shoots. One of the words is intent. You always want to have like a sense of intent with your photos. You want to show in the photograph that you have like a meaning and a purpose, and you're doing this for a reason. And you know, like, I'm going to use a quick example real quick. Like, I don't mean this literally, but let's just say I go into a photo shoot, right? And I'm just like this. It almost looks like I'm not prepared for what's coming, or, you know, there's no intent in me. Just maybe I'm mid sentence, maybe I'm mid talking. My face, you know, like my face is relaxed. Extremely relaxed. It doesn't look like I'm doing anything or going anywhere. There's probably a model with a facial structure that opens their mouth a little bit like that and could probably make it into a photo. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that I haven't done photos like that in the past. But really, that's for models who are like way more experienced. Like, you don't want to look like a deer in the headlights unless you're, you know, shooting on the side of the road at, you know, like 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's the theme that you're going for. That's for more experienced models, what I just said. If you play that back and read that back. Another great word is balance. The word balance. You never want to look lopsided or one-sided. You want to always look proportional. You always want to look like in control, sequenced. You know, like you're owning the photograph. Like the photograph is not owning you. Wow, that was from one of my first movies But again, it becomes a reiteration. We're building you up as a model, and that's the advice. Coming again, just reworded in a stronger sense. Minute details are always important. An example of this in modeling could be even something like flaring your nostrils. See how I look different when I flare my nostrils a little bit? That changes the whole appearance of what I'm doing. And it could even be something like that really changes photographs and really like focus on your facial features, what you can do with your eyebrows. Move your eyebrows a little bit. I use that all the time. Your nose, your lips, your ears, your beard, you know, etc., etc. Think about that stuff when you're in front of the camera. Two more tips and we'll end this segment. Number one is this is a definite do not do this. Whenever you're auditioning or you are meeting like a photographer for the first time, again, this is not etched in stone. This is my strong opinion. There's this stuff out there called like hair glue, and it usually like filters into a certain style, like a pop culture style. I would really advise you not to use hair glue on your first meeting, on an audition, meeting a photographer, going on a professional gig. I really wouldn't advise doing that because it's like distasteful. You want to show what you have, and when you put that hair glue stuff in, it makes your hair look matted and flat. You want to at least show people first impression, the type of hair you have and the type of options they have with your hair. If you do that first time around, it's not going to do you any good. Just keep that in mind. If they want you to do the hair glue after you sign up and you're getting paid and everything, that's a different story. I would say a strong no towards that on first time meetings, first appearances, interviews, Zoom interviews, whatever. Just do not wear that stuff unless you're getting paid for it and you get the preliminary stuff out of the way. You always want to show your natural hair as much as you can in the first meeting. Remember that. That's very key. So one way you can come up with different poses, and I realized this, is like you can almost like make a stretching routine into a modeling routine with your body. You can study and look up on the internet, great model poses and almost make that into a stretch for every sequence that you do. Me personally, I do it in a different way. I do it from more of like a feeling that I get, but I definitely stretch my body to the fullest to try to like, here's a very in-depth word, like almost like marry the lens. Married means like come into with, becoming one with. That's a very like deep, intricate statement, but like showing the length and the depth of your body is key for the lens when you're taking the photos, because you want to show like you're showing everything you have. It's almost like you go to like you see like a bodybuilder competition and they're flexing every single muscle they have before the audience. You want to do that not from like a muscular standpoint, but from a length standpoint. You always want yourself to look taller, leaner, like you're taking up a lot of space. as opposed to taking up little space, and not taking up a lot of space with like fat or mass or volume, but taking up space with length and distance, like in your photograph, because when you do that, you'll have a different effect on the clothes that you're wearing, and that's how you make your clothes pop. All right, my name is Mark Anthony Dark 66. I am officially the gothic version of Mr. Rogers. Just kidding. I think about this because I'm in like, I'm in like this dollhouse, and I'm wearing like this, robe all the time now. So giving you the modeling tips and tricks. I'll see you in the next segment. See you later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back again for the segment. The second segment of this movie. So let's dive right in. Okay, so okay, just washed my face, kind of like how it's looking. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is, I've been highlighting like, your relationship with your photographer. You want to try to match energies with the person that you're taking pictures. Like, you want to try to collab with them. You want to try to get them to feel what you're doing. You want them to believe in you. You're doing this as a team. Your photographer is gonna judge you, but they're trying to steer you like in the right direction. Whether you're a pro or whether you're just starting this tomorrow, like you have to learn. First of all, if you're just starting this tomorrow or you're a newbie, you have to learn how to like connect with people through art, which is very difficult because like whether you're doing more art, music, acting, anything in the arts, it's always kind of difficult to like talk about it and connect with people because it's not meant to be practical all the time. That's a good nugget right there. So after you're able to connect, like, just like ask them, just be like, hey, like, what are your interests? Like, what do you like? Do you watch sports? Are you married? Do you have kids? Where do you live? What's your favorite kind of food? And try to see like how this person is as just like a normal human, not necessarily just like a lens, you know what I mean? Like they're a human being just like you are, just like I am. So you want to try to make it so they're comfortable with you and you're comfortable with them, and you can break ground going into the art and kind of really see into like their soul and their spirit and kind of know like what makes them tick and stuff. Now this is really deep on an emotional level, okay, but like you want to let the art surface, because especially when you meet somebody new, like you're nervous about what they might think about you or if they might judge you, so on and so forth. Like, developing relationships takes time, but if your photographer believes in you and you are comfortable with them, you're going to make good art. Trust me. It's going to happen. I do it at least once a week, so shout out to Jamer, man. Jamer, you're becoming a great photographer, man. So you kind of want to, if you're going towards or working with like a photographer that you don't know too well, or like somebody new, you want to like ask them questions like, what kind of a shot is this? Is this an action shot? Is this a standstill? Am I supposed to look depressed? Is this gloomy? Is this high energy? Like, you want to really, like, get in your brain, like, this is like a sport, like what you're trying to achieve, like before the camera starts clicking. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. It's like anything else. When you're in a themed photograph, like, you want to become the theme. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if I have a bicycle in my photograph for some reason, I'm thinking of Lance Armstrong. You know, how he looks, how he walks, how he talks. If I have a surfboard in my hand, I'm thinking about what a pro surfer looks like. I'm becoming that. That's actually in my portfolio. Check out my surfboard pictures. Surfboard, surfboard. If you're in an office, you're modeling like office clothes, like you want to become a person who works in an office. Like, it's about becoming that, becoming the theme. Now, don't get it twisted. There are some art scenes used for like innovation and, wow, that's like the craziest photo I've ever seen. Like, I've just never seen anything like that. It's like so wild and crazy. But like 90% of the time, you want to become the theme. You want to go with the theme. You don't want to go against the grain. Going against the grain, I would say, would be for like more specialized or more experienced, more experienced models, specialized clothing. Something that would be like bold and daring. I'm getting really deep into this, but I'm letting you understand what types of different opportunities are really out there. Like, when you open a magazine, when you see a commercial, when you see an ad, because a lot of times, especially in the time we're living in, like, shock value sells a lot. So you might see something like far-fetched or like off the cusp, or like, something like that. That's due to the times that we're living in, but 90% of the time you want to stick with the theme. Wow, this is like really deep. I really thought about this. I do, just so you guys know, I do read my notes before I sit down, and I do like, I don't necessarily like practice exactly what I'm going to say, but I go over it in my head, and I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, okay, okay. Like, I check myself to make sure that I'm saying the correct stuff, how I would like to say it, in order, etc., etc. Come to work prepared. Okay. So, couple things you don't want to do, and then I'll give you a tip to overcome certain things. One thing you don't want to do is, you do not want to look like, in your modeling photos, you don't want to look like a movie character or somebody that is like predestined to look a certain way. Like, like, I might want to look similar to somebody, but I don't want to look, you know, exactly like, the Indiana Jones movie. I don't want to look like I came right out of Goodfellas. I don't want to look like, I'm the guy standing around in Scarface. It's like, you can play off that kind of stuff. I think I don't want to say like, I don't want to use the word cosplay really, but there's certain themes that filter into other themes, but like, if you're imitating like a certain movie, people are going to want to see that movie, not like some cheap knockoff. You know what I mean? Like, or, something that doesn't quite meet the parameters. And you don't want to, like, you don't want to go into acting. Like, oh, I'm gonna be the guy from, the Scarface movie, and I'm just gonna like walk and talk like him during my photo shoot. Like you're not. That's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to accentuate your body, sell the clothes you're wearing, send a message. You can look similar, but you don't want to like, wow, that's the spitting image of Tony Montana. Wow, that's the spitting image of Indiana Jones. Like that's not what you're going for. That's off. That's artsy. It's you have talent for being able to like mimic somebody like that, but that's definitely not modeling. So keep that in mind. This is for women, and specifically women. Man, man, my heart goes out to women. Man, it's a tough world out there. Um, as a woman, all women are beautiful, okay, but it's men you can't really tell as much. Just to be fair, like women, men. Let's talk about women and men equally, but this is geared more towards women. Um, you don't want to necessarily look like a woman of the night when you are, like working on your portfolio, whether you're doing some sort of like a modeling video or something like that. Like, there's, it's hard to say, but it's like you are not you modeling is like a few steps above that. You know what I mean? First of all, you know, modeling to me is like one of the most prestigious jobs in the world. It's, fashion. It's like wearing clothes. It's not the opposite. It's not like you're putting clothes on, you're selling clothes, you're in the fashion industry. You know, Women can be like overlooked as, objects of desire. Okay, we all know that. I love looking at beautiful women, admiring their beauty. Every man can relate. Every straight man can relate to what I'm saying. But when you're modeling, you are not on that level. You are really like a few steps above that, and you're really like working for a certain group of people. We hope that there's nothing nefarious going on. Um, we hope that you're making all the right decisions. Like, this is classy. I'm not saying that dark stuff doesn't happen in the modeling industry. I'm not saying that. Okay. I don't want to say dark stuff. I would say bad stuff. You know, like, I don't want you to be um, naive that there's, bad people everywhere you go. But, like, if you're if you're modeling a real job and you're getting paid for it, and let's just say like, they want you to wear like fishnets or lingerie or something, revealing. Those are your decisions as a model to get to that point where you're modeling. Me personally, I don't model underwear. That's the one thing I love about working for myself is like I don't have to do anything that's like a little too risque. Not that I'm not that I'm like shy of it. I don't put it this way, like I don't feel I don't feel led to do that for just no reason, just like, stand around in my underwear and, take a picture. I mean, I'm not intimidated by that, but at the same time, I don't feel it's totally necessary at this point in my career. Now, if for some reason, I had a deal with, a major fashion company, they wanted me to stand around in my underwear, okay. It's nothing too crazy. These types of decisions have to be made way before you even decide you want to be a pro model. So think about this, what I'm saying, but getting back to the main point, modeling is not dressing up like a woman or a man of the night and taking photos. Uh, you know, we all know that, underwear is important if your career takes you down that path. That is a very serious avenue. Underwear, but you're still not, even when you're modeling underwear, you're not like insinuating something else of, like bad character. You're really like a reputable, I mean, man, like I'm just saying, like for my girlfriend's ex-girlfriends, like I've been in Victoria's Secret like plenty of times. They have like really nice like women's perfume and got a lot of nice stuff in there, but that's still not like, okay, this is a woman of the night and this is how she dresses, and I'm just going to be, overly sexually provocative for no reason. Like that's the it's there's a fine line there between modeling and bad nefarious things. Figure out what that is based on what I said and my I'm not judging anybody, okay, but just my judgment of what it is and what it isn't. Just try to use that to steer yourself in the direction that you want to go in. And again, like I'll model a bathing suit. I don't care, but at this point in my career, you know I don't see any reason to stand around in my underwear. So, all right. And that's just personal for me, but I'm saying, like, you have that option. Depending if you're a freelance model, you basically work for yourself. You have a lot of different options. Get in touch with your options. Okay. Let's see. Let's end this one with a good key point. Okay, you're gonna always have meltdowns. Like I go back to my portfolio plenty of times. I have to delete photos. I'm like, man, what were you thinking? You look horrible. You look like a walrus. You look like a whale. You look like an ogre. We're all human beings. We all have that insecurity. And I actually like my portfolio because I go back and I say, man, okay, that worked, that's good. I use my portfolio to build my confidence, but when I do have moments of insecurity, because I am a human being and I am fallible, two things that I tell myself is okay, Mark, you've been doing this since you're like 14, 15, 16 years old, man. You know a lot more than your average about this, and your mom was a pro for Levi. You can get through this. You have to develop those types of defense mechanisms when you even doubt yourself, because my first portfolio that failed, and I'm seriously, I'm really not embarrassed about it. I could talk about it anytime. We all have failures in life, and I really wasn't as serious as I am now about it. But when my first portfolio failed, one of the reasons it failed is because I just got swallowed up by that insecurity, and I was just like not motivated, and the insecurity got to me, and I was just like, I was like, I gotta, end this. I basically deleted I didn't delete all my stuff. I actually did put some stuff from my first portfolio into my second portfolio, the pictures that made it. But, man, like 75% of those pictures, I just trashed them, because and it was somewhat embarrassing. But this time around, it's different. I'm strong. I am strong like bull. And, I developed the confidence. But yes, I have those moments where I'm like, dude, like, you are a slob. Like, and I'm looking at myself, and it's like, man, you better get it together, Mark. So we all have those moments, develop defense mechanisms. The portfolio is also good so you can look back at your positive photos and develop a confidence. You need a confidence in this. This is like, think about like going on a date. This is like going on a date times 10. Like, this is like, you need confidence that's like through the roof. And always take compliments, remember compliments, write them down if you have to. But I speak from experience, I speak from failures, and it'll really, if you don't develop confidence and defenses, it'll end your career. Trust me. I am Mark Anthony Dark 66, officially the gothic version of Mr. Rogers. See you in the next movie. Peace.